During 1775, Lexington and Concord had happened. The Continental Army has been organized, basically putting together all the people that are defending the Boston area, and George Washington is put at head of that army. Fast forward to October of 1775. At this point in time, Continental Congress gets reliable information. The British are about to hire the Hessians, and they decide they need more troops. They need to raise troops. And they commission 3 different captains, 2 in New Jersey and 1 here in Bucks County, a man named Augustine Willett. These people are charged with going out, organizing a battalion, and then going off and fighting with the Continental Army. So meet Augustine Willett. This is Bucks County's George Washington. This guy is a very wealthy, powerful tavern owner in 1775, and at the dawn of the Revolution here in Bucks County, this is the first guy to go out and raise troops for the Pennsylvania Battalion.
Taverns were already the sites of discussion about the conflict with Britain, and tavern owners in particular often had very strong opinions about that conflict. And so when the revolution began, when the war began, it was natural that many of the tavern owners would themselves become leaders in the military. Throughout Bucks County, other taverns began the process of raising companies themselves. Because this was a new thing and they were trying to break with the British tradition, they began printing these enlistment forms that would be signed by the enlistee and the company commander. But this is the first enlistment form of the United States. At the Merchant Museum, there is one of these certificates on display in the Doan exhibit. Pennsylvania Battalion acts as a laboratory for Congress so that Congress can see what works and what doesn't work in raising this new army for and by the United Colonies, the continent, and then the United States.
So who joins the Continental Army in 1775, and why do they join? Well, it's multiple reasons. There are people who are ardent patriots, people like Augustine Willett and General Lacey. These are people that believe in the war during this period of time. There's also people that need the money. I mean, people are struggling during this wartime effort, and there's a promise of payment to join the army on either side during this period of time. There's also people that are forced into the Revolutionary War. Sometimes this is actually America's first draft. The militia, you were required to drill with your local militia. If you don't, you will be fined. And in those cases, sometimes people that were wealthy slave owners would force their slaves to fight in the Revolutionary War in the militia or the Continental Army as substitutes. And after he raises these troops, he heads off to Canada with Benedict Arnold. He ends up at Ticonderoga, but he's here for the crossing of the Delaware and throughout battles through the Revolutionary War. He uses his own money to raise these troops. He's a very powerful patriot, but the irony here is his brother and his cousin are loyalists, and they end up joining the British in occupied Philadelphia. He ends up having to fight against his own family.